Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Now, I wasn't planning on coming on tonight to do a video, but I just watched the latest police statement about Lilly and Jack Sullivan. And I'm a bit sort of in shock, and I want to share this with you because I just think this statement by the police, it is telling. And what is telling about it especially is what this policeman does not say. I think that's what I would, how I would put it. It's not what this policeman says. Let's just have a look at these two. So remember, this is Lilly and Jack, who disappeared in America from their home without a trace, no trace found of them. Lilly is 6 and Jack is 4. So, they've been disappeared over a month now. So they're not looking after themselves, are they, at that age? Are they even alive? Did somebody take them? Now, this is their stepfather and their mother. And a lot of shade, if you like, has been cast on them. But the stepfather says he passed a lie detector test. The mother, she disappeared the second day that these children had disappeared. She was gone with her baby, not hanging around because they literally, supposedly, walked away from their home and got lost in the woods. That's, supposedly what happened to them. And their mum, she didn't wait to see if they came back. Literally the second day. Let me say that again. The second day, the next day, she was gone. She was out of there, not waiting to see if her babies came back. So there's been a lot of talk, as you can imagine. What happened to these babies? Did they walk away, get lost in the woods? Have they had an accident? Were they taken away? Did their parents do something to them? Have they been taken off somewhere safe? Are they safe somewhere, being hidden? That's another rumour that's going around. We just don't know. All we know is they're little kids that have disappeared, and somebody knows where they are, unless they have got lost in the woods. It's just, it's a crazy thing. One of these crazy cases, but ultimately 2 little children whose lives are at stake. So, just literally 10 minutes ago, I watched this, let me take their photo down because that will stop you being able to see the video. I watched an interview with the lead detective, I suppose, with a local, with a Canadian news channel. And I'm absolutely gobsmacked. It's only a short interview. The actual interview is only just short of 7 minutes. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to comment on it. Please, please, please let me know your comments. What do you think about this very odd interview?
To be clear, we don't have evidence to suggest that an abduction took place at this time.
Is it something you're still investigating?
So, to be clear, we don't have evidence that an abduction took place at this time. Okay.
Investigating whether or not they could have been abducted?
So we're exploring all investigative avenues. So on the morning of May 2nd,
exploring all investigative avenues, which is fair enough. I feel that they know something. Anyway, let me know what you think.
Approximately 10 a.m., our CMP officers received a call about 2 missing children in Lansdowne Station at 10 a.m.
Sorry, I
SMP
just
officers.
want to show you again. So this is the property. So it's a complete SHIT hole, isn't it? But anyway, it's set in a nice area. There's woods around, and the children, I think, were allowed to play out. But the stepfather, Martins, isn't it his name? He was saying that the children, he and his wife Malaya, not his wife. I'm not sure that they're actually married. They were in bed with the baby. They got baby together, Meadow, and they could hear the children playing, and then suddenly they couldn't hear them anymore. Now, you can't see on this aerial shot, but up at the end of this driveway thing is a main road. So they're not far from the main road at all. It's quite easy to see how they could have been abducted. Some people are saying that Malaya put them in a car and off they went. I just hope that is the case. Anyway, you can see the state of the place. It looks very dangerous to me. But of course, it's unusual for 2 children to disappear at the same time. If one of them had an accident, how could they both have had an accident at the same time? Anyway.
Received a call about 2 missing children in Lansdowne Station. The information at the time was that they wandered off away from the property. And I can tell you that our officers got at the scene very quickly. And we were monitoring the situation and hopefully finding the children very soon after that.
So it's very quickly. Officers arrive, and then what? You expected, it sounds like you're saying, that you'd find the children quickly, or hoped you would anyways. That didn't happen.
So Kayla, what I can tell you, from experience, you look at missing children. I've been involved with a handful of cases since I've been with Strategic Communications. Most oftentimes, the children are located very quickly after officers arrive at the scene, right? And that's our hope every single time, that they wandered off and you can find the children. Because I'm sure, like every officer out there, I'm not on the road currently, but your heart is pounding, the adrenaline is rushing, you're trying to find those children, right?
Yeah. So the officers that attended the scene, you can imagine they were hoping and probably expecting to find these children not far away in the woods. When they saw the place that it was, probably their hope and expectation initially was that these children would be found.
This case started just like that?
That's
what you're
correct.
Describing, you thought you'd go there, find them very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And our officers were nearby in an ongoing search for a kayaker that had gone missing the day prior.
Well, that's interesting. So the officers were in that area because there was a kayaker who'd gone missing. Don't know if they found the kayaker or not. Hope so. So they were on the, not far from the scene. So they attended quickly.
So, I can tell you I was monitoring the situation remotely. And our officers, I could tell they were getting there as quickly as possible.
There are some, as you are aware, many theories out there. Some people think, well, maybe it's really just a tragic accident. Maybe they just wandered off into the woods. But you've said that it's suspicious. So at the very least, why does the RCMP view this case as suspicious?
So every missing person.
Now, while she was asking that question, when we could see him, he was blinking a lot. So I think he was definitely thinking of what he can say and what he can't say. These police, they know something.
Person's investigation is suspicious until it's proven that it's not. If we don't have that information to say that it's not suspicious, we have to continue to assume that it is suspicious. And
what? That is a blatant lie. Honest to God, I was aghast when he said that. Not aghast in a bad way. I wish they would treat these disappearances as suspicious until it's proven otherwise. But we know they don't. We've seen it a million times. Maybe they do in Canada then, hey? I don't know. But we saw it with the Nicola Bulley case in the UK. We've seen it with many cases. They tend to be treated as not suspicious. Samantha Murphy was another one. No, not suspicious, until suddenly it was. Samantha Murphy, of course, is in Australia. I don't think they do consider these missing persons cases as maybe it's different with children. I don't know, but I don't think so because they didn't issue an Amber Alert. They tend to, missing people frustrates us over and over again. I've said a million times in videos, why not treat them as suspicious until proven otherwise, instead of treating them as not suspicious until proven otherwise. And now this guy, this policeman, is saying, no, that's not what they do. They always consider cases, missing persons cases, suspicious till proven otherwise. That actually is not true. That is not true.
Access those resources and tools and follow up those tips and find that evidence until we find the people that are missing.
So you don't think they were abducted, but you can't find them. How do 2 young children just vanish?
That's a great question, Kayla. And we are asking for the public for tips and information. And to date, we've received.
Now, notice how often in this video he says that as well. That's a great question. That's a great question, but it doesn't answer it ever.
Close to 500 tips. So we have to follow up on those tips, right? Whether it's a tip that indicates that there could be something that happened elsewhere in the province, elsewhere in the country, we have to follow up on those investigative tips to rule them out. And to this date, we haven't had any confirmed sightings.
But there have been tips that lead you to other parts of the country that you had to check.
As with any investigation, oftentimes we do get tips that you have to verify that are elsewhere, yes.
You have said that the children were last seen alive the day before. Can you tell me about the nature of that?
So we know they were seen in public with loved ones the day prior. The specifics aren't being released at this time.
Okay, and so that's the day before, so that's May 1st, but you've...
So May 1st, which is, gosh, well, we're now, we're now on the 23rd of June. So they've been missing nearly 2 months, not that far off, 2 months. And why won't they say, no, he said, oh yeah, there's confirmation that they were seen with family the day before, but he won't give the details. Why not? Why not? What's strange about it?
Specifically asked for video back to April 28th. What's the reason for that?
You know, when you establish a timeline for any investigation, you want to know where these individuals were prior. They may have been in contact with someone that you want to know who that person is.
Yeah, there's something fishy here, isn't there? Or something, that the police know that they're not releasing. So they've been asking for CCTV footage, door cam or whatever, specifically back to the 28th of April. So 3 days before they were last seen. Why? What did they think? What did they think happened then? Yeah, he definitely, the more you watch this, you'll see. He knows more. I understand that he can't say it's an investigation, but it's so strange.
You may see something on that footage that you didn't know about prior to that. We talked about license plates earlier and seeing them from a different angle. You might see someone that's known elsewhere.
License plates. So is it true? Have they been taken away in a car?
Maybe it's someone that's known to police. You never know. We really are seeking all investigative avenues in this case.
Now, it's interesting when he says that about license plates. We've heard a lot recently in cases that we've covered about people, like in the Phoebe Bishop case in Australia. That's Canada as well, isn't it? Yeah, people, it's thought that her flatmates in Nova Scotia, wasn't it? It's thought that, or is this in Nova Scotia? I'm getting confused now. Oh no, that is an Australian case. Get confused with where the cases come from. It's thought that her flatmates, Phoebe Bishop, her flatmates did doctor the license plates of the car to confuse the police, in this back and forth to the airport or whatever they did with Phoebe. They did doctor their license plates. We've got the David Knežević case or the Anna Knežević case in Spain. David Knežević, he changed his license plates. Are they thinking that these children were taken away in a car? It's funny that he mentions license plates specifically because they don't normally, do they?
There have been some complaints that an Amber Alert was not issued. I understand that the criteria is very specific. Was that considered? Is it still possible?
Absolutely, Kayla. You know, on the day of the incident, I can tell you I was working. I reviewed the policy that morning. We have to have a suspect or a person of interest when it comes to abduction or a vehicle. You know, in terms of
I didn't know that. So what you're saying is with an Amber Alert, you have to have a suspect or a vehicle, do you? Okay, we'll look at that one time in another video.
sending out an alert, when you send an Amber Alert, you want to direct the public to look for a specific vehicle, to look for that license plate, to look for that suspicious person, to have a photo of someone or more information to suggest that there was an abduction. In this case, you know, they are young children, certainly vulnerable people, and a vulnerable person alert was issued.
Does the RCMP know what happened here? Even if you can't tell me, do you know?
So what I can tell you is that we're exploring all investigative avenues.
He knows. He knows. Oh my God, have you ever heard a masterclass in doublespeak?
Do you have a case? Are you building a specific case that's leading you in a certain direction?
In this case, the investigation is still being investigated under the Missing Persons Act.
I mean, what sort of an answer is that? In this case, it's still being investigated under the Missing Persons Act. But that wasn't what she asked, was it? You know, it's total wrong answer to what she asked.
It sort of seems from the last news release that you issued. These are the reason I'm asking these questions. I read that news release and I thought, I don't think they have any idea what happened here.
You know, when it comes to missing people, it's very complex. It can be very long-term investigations. It can be difficult on first responders, especially when it involves vulnerable people. And we have to be patient, and we have to follow the leads and follow the facts and evidence that we gather.
Yeah, now she just said the opposite to me, and maybe she's right. Let me know what you think. Do you think they know something? Like, I'm getting the feeling that they know something. But from what she said, she's getting the feeling that they don't know anything. Let me know what you think.
To bring us to locating the children.
Does the RCMP think Lilly and Jack could still be alive?
That's a great question, and we want to locate them and find them.
Yeah. Did you hear that? Again, that's a great question. We want to locate them and find them. But it's not, I don't think he thinks they're still alive. Do you? Just something that I feel that this guy knows. But
And our goal is to investigate every single avenue until we find them.
Is it possible at this point?
That's a great question, and our role is to find.
That's a great question. Everything's a great question, but he's not giving a great answer, is he?
Find them in the evidence surrounding their disappearance.
You mentioned a lot of the tips you're getting. I'm sure you're aware there's extraordinary public interest in this case. Some people are frustrated that the RCMP is not saying more. We understand it's an active investigation. And in some cases, the lack of information leads to speculation, and rumors are rampant online, and that's done some harm on the family in this case as well. What, though, would you say to the public who are begging for answers and just want to know what's happened here?
We have to be patient and certainly rely on our news releases and official sources of information. You know, don't listen to those rumors that are out there. We're putting out those news releases on a regular basis with information pertaining to the investigation. We have to be very cautious as to what type of information we release, because we want to make sure that it doesn't affect the investigation.
Oh, that's fair enough, isn't it? This is the problem that they're coming up against. Social media gets away from them, doesn't it? And I just wanted to say that the other day, remember I did the video where that guy, so that It's a Crime in Shame had done an interview with the supposed relative of Malaya, who said that he thought that the children might have been spirited away in a car and that Malaya was behind it. And I think we all want to believe that. Well, you know, I've remembered a lot. It's a Crying Shame is not a reliable YouTube channel. And the guy that was showing that video, that Joseph Morris, I remembered where I'd seen him before. Oh my God, in the Gabby Petito case. He talked the biggest load of rubbish you'd ever heard in your life. He even had Brian Laundrie living in the flower garden, living in a bloody plant pot practically, and reaching up, you know, his mum was doing gardening, and he was there. He was one of these that was saying, oh, was she reaching down and giving, was Brian hiding under the flower bed and the mother's reaching down and giving him food? You know, when you remember, I'd forgotten because it's been a few years ago now, but that was him. So you can't rely on Joseph Morris, what he says. You can't rely on It's a Crying Shame, what they say. You know, unfortunately, they're not reliable YouTubers. And I feel like I sort of fell for it a little bit because, you know what, just so desperate to think that Jack and Lilly might be still alive. I mean, I hope it is true. But, you know, just thinking now what I've remembered, I don't think you can rely on what those YouTube channels say. But anyway, that's, you know, I don't normally come on and criticise YouTube channels, but I remember that guy. I remember him now. I was looking at him, I was thinking, I've seen him before somewhere. And yeah, Gabby Petito. He talked a load of SHITE.
I think some people in the public are starting to wonder, is it possible that we may never find out what happened to Lilly and Jack? Is that possible?
I wouldn't be able to answer you that question today, but I can tell you that our investigators are seasoned. They are committed. I've worked with some of them personally prior in my career, and I can tell you that they are committed investigators to this missing children's investigation.
So I just wanted to show you that because, you know, this is a case that is, sorry, just let me put that down. This is a case, of course, that is, you know, we're all interested in because these two little ones, you know, your heart breaks, doesn't it, when you see them? It's just like, where are they? I mean, I hope their mum has spirited them away. I hope she has. I hope it's all a big fraud. I really, really hope that, because that would mean these two are alive. It's so unusual for two children to go missing like that, you know? Or are they still in the woods? Did they go into the woods? Did they fall into the river? We don't know. We don't know. But I thought I'd bring that interview to you. I thought it was a very interesting interview. And to me, it's what that guy didn't say that was more important than what he did say. And I personally felt that he knows something. But, you know, that reporter there, she seemed to not think that. So anyway, let me know what you think. Any updates I get on Jack and Lilly, I will let you know. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Take care, and remember to always live and love wisely and carefully. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Bye.